right, testing. I do believe we are live. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining into the stream. I have missed being live with my crew, and I've got a lot to get through today. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. And super interesting here to see what happened. Michael Saylor bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin last week. What is going on? What does he know that we don't? Is he just dollar cost averaging into his favorite asset for the long term? Or is there more to this price level? Is this an ultimate price level for Bitcoin? He bought $1 billion last week. He bought $1 billion the week before, right? And we all know MicroStrategy is the OG, the most profitable company at present because of their investment treasury in Bitcoin. And what's happening here, right? Like, are we going to dump from these levels? Maybe slightly, but it does also seem like this might just be a historically brilliant buying zone for accumulation. I mean, that's not playing around. That's $1 billion, y'all. That's $1 billion that he bought at, what was it, 85K on Bitcoin? So 85K not looking so bad, and that now brings his total treasury on MicroStrategy to 670,000 Bitcoin, which is 3% of the total supply of Bitcoin. And when I see that, I just think to myself, man, I'm not doing enough. Like, I'm DCA, but yeah, maybe I'm not DCA enough. All right, we got a lot to get into. We have brand new CPI data that has just come out. All right, we have CPI at 2.7 year on year, which is below expectations of 3.1. And we actually see this now having an effect on the charts. Guys, are we live? Are we live? Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me? Lovely to have everyone here. Please give me the confirmation that everything is cooking and we are live. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So as you can see, I'm in the mood and I'm ready to get straight into it. But welcome everybody. Thank you for joining, and let's get going. I will start up some beats shortly. But for now, let's do some work, right? All right, so we see 2.7 year on year, below expectations of 3.1. If we come in below expectations here, basically what this means is that inflation, all right, it's still high. It's still high, but it's lower than expectations. And this increases the possibility of more rate cuts because the Fed doesn't need to keep interest rates as high. I know this is confusing, right? But I've started to wrap my head around it in previous years. And really, this is the biggest macro event that we see is this CPI. It has a huge impact on crypto, and we're actually seeing volatility right now on the charts because of this. So there we go. Rate cuts more likely when it's lower than expected. Softer CPI reduces the urgency for the Fed to keep interest rates high. Markets may price in more or earlier rate cuts, which tends to loosen financial conditions. I haven't done my vocal warm-ups. All right, it may potentially, and historically it has benefited risk assets, including cryptocurrencies. Renewed upside momentum, and of course, this short-term volatility, right? We saw a spike and we saw a dump right now on the charts. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into my Bitcoin TA. Should we have some beats or should we keep it quiet? Let me know in the chat. And very cool to see everybody here. Let's see how we're doing. All right, nice. It looks like we're a little bit quiet, right? We're a little bit quiet. This is a strange time for us to be streaming, but I do appreciate each and every one of you that are here. If you are here with us on Twitter, please do come through to the YouTube. Join the party, join the crew on the YouTube. All right, y'all want some beats. Let me quickly just hook up a little bit of a beat. Let's get going. All right, so we should be good now for beats. Please let me know if the levels are satisfactory. I'm going to bring it up a little bit on my side too, so I've got something to nod my head to, something for a little bit of momentum. And my voice should be loud and clear. Let's get into it. Thank you everybody for joining. I see you, Shaibu. I see you, Lolok. Ronnie's in the building. Solarchka, are you new to my crew? Welcome. I see you, Jess, in the building. Let's go. And there's me. Who's that? Let's go, y'all. Thank you, Husseini. Much appreciated. Let's do it. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. All right, I'm gonna smash a little bit of my own tea on Bitcoin, but I want to hear from the crew today, right? That's why we're here, to pool our minds together, not just for me to shout TA at you, but for us to act as a community. All right, so most important things on the charts right now, in my opinion, are mostly on the daily and 4-hour time frame, because we've been doing so much zooming in on the monthly and the weekly. I'm going to show you a few monthly and weekly patterns, but really most of you are very aware of the TA that I'm doing at current, but I'm going to break it down for y'all step by step. Let's go in naked as the day we were born, right? This is always the best way to start your charting for the day. Every session you hit on the charts, try to start as naked as possible. Even if you're pulling up a fresh chart, right? And you've got your other charting on another chart. You can even on TradingView have multiple portfolios of charts. But anyway, the biggest pattern that we're seeing right now, in my opinion, playing out on the charts, and really it's fighting, right? We're right on the edge of this pattern, and that is the bear flag pattern here on the daily, weekly, 4-hour time frame. And I would actually put the bottom of the flag right about there. And we can see here how confused these daily candles are, right? The bulls do not want to let this price target play out, because if this price target does play out, we're going to $74,000. And the bulls are like, no. Right, so now we're seeing these dojis, we're seeing these confused candles, inverted hammers, all of these candle bodies snug as a bug in a rug right there underneath the bear flag. Because if the bear flag plays out, we can clearly see that this target is $74,000, and this pole is clear as day, right? This bear flag is staring us in the face, and I mean, it's obvious, right, that this is what should happen. We should go down to 74. So I want everybody to be very logical here, especially if you're feeling a little bit too bullish, right? And the whole point of this stream today is for us to try and figure out, are we gonna have a Santa rally? Right? Or are we going to break history and actually dump through Christmas, through New Year's, down to the depths? Are we going to 68K? Right? And I want to act as a community now, and I want to try in this session to answer this question, right? Is our Santa rally doomed? Is it dead? Are we destined for that 70K, that 74K, that 68K? And you know what? There's so much conflicting information here that I'm going to look at. Are the beats too loud? Are the beats cool? Loud and clear. Nice stuff. Oh, met me at the FO mode. Okay, which trader is this? Solar Rochka. Bitcoin for sale around Christmas gift. Okay, so we got someone who shares my sentiments, right? I'm a vampire. I'm accumulating Bitcoin. I would love for Bitcoin to go to lower prices so I can buy it. Oh, we got a JD. JDM Hatcher. Look at this. The crew is hot. All right, very nice to see y'all. Solar, remind me which one you are, my brother or sister. All right, and if you are here, drop us a message. Please don't be shy. Let us know how you're feeling. And what we're seeing here is a big tug of war happening. And the only way we can really figure this out, you know, are we going to the 74K target, is to bring more information onto the charts. And, you know, it's hard for me to even lay out the order in which I want to do this, because there's so much information to look at. The one magnet that we are seeing on the charts is this 82K level. And some of you who were in my Bybit streams this week will remember that we were looking at the liquidation heat map. All right, I believe this was yesterday, last night. We were looking at this liquidation heat map on the Bybit futures, and it's very clear to see that the biggest liquidation level right now is sitting at 82,500 for $128 million just on Bybit. A dude in the suit sitting with the girl in the back talking about algo trading and USDT dominance. I think I do remember. That was a crazy night. That was a super crazy night. And if you want to know more about what went down on that night, come to Crypto Crush's YouTube, right? Let me quickly pull it up. But we just had an awesome vlog dropped by a very cool lady, and I'm going to be doing a YouTube collaboration with her next week. She's actually super awesome, and let's give her a shout out, right? I'm gonna bring her vlog quickly. Crypto crash. I typed crypto crash and a million videos came up. But anyway, this is Crypto Crush, right? She's huge on Instagram, and now she's breaking into YouTube. Everybody go give her a follow. And she actually just telegrammed me, so I'm gonna pop her a message of the current shout out that I'm given so she can see. But here's the vlog, right? Here's the vlog. So I don't think I can like really play it. And it was cool. It was so dramatic, right? And I came second, guys. I came second out of 16 traders. It was like such a tease. But anyway, it was super cool. Yeah, so get involved in watching it. You can see what an absolutely massive event it was. And huge shout out to Josh, the organizer. You know, I'm a big fan of him. And yeah, what an absolute tease, right? To come second. But yeah, so cool to meet everyone there. She gave me a power bank for Mac to do some demo trades. She's such a nice person, right, Danielle? Anyway, let me give you let me give her a quick note. Maybe she'll hop on. All right, but super cool. And if you want to see everything that went down, and guys, it wasn't chill, right? It was heated. Watch this intro. It was super heated.
I won the competition. So because you think that I'm disrespectful, I shouldn't win? No.
And this is esports, guys. This is trading coming to esports. It's like, yeah, some of the best times that I've had, honestly, in trading. And you know, Shento, this guy at the beginning that was going super crazy, he's actually become like a really close friend of mine over a very short period of time. He's an amazing guy, super passionate, amazing trader, right? He's $1 million high leverage trader. I've been sitting with him while he's taken high leverage trades, and he's actually coming to South Africa. He'll be in my studio collaborating with us. Anyway, I got distracted as always. Let's get straight back into the TA. Okay, so we got the liquidation heat map. We got 128 million sitting just on Bybit, right? We can even look here at Binance, right? The two biggest futures platforms are Bybit and Binance. We can see Binance, same thing, all right? 244 million. So combined, we've got about 400 million on just two futures platforms sitting at 82,500. So really, this is a level that I want everyone to take a horizontal line and drop it in at the 82,500, because that's a line that the whales are going to hunt, because they know that there is so much liquidity there. All right, if you want to open $100 million trade, you're going to look for that kind of a level to open the trade, because they know that once that level gets hit, there's a whole lot of fresh liquidity that's able to come into the market as buys. So a pretty juicy level, and we can see the big wick that wants to be filled down to the bottom. And my thinking is here that if this level gets filled, there could be, you know, of course, a lot of fear that's coming into the market right here, because this is our low currently. And if we hit that level, there's going to be a lot of fear that could push us down to that 74k bear flag target. And you know, there's thinking that's gone into this. If we look at the previous level that was hit as a liquidation level, it was 87k for 216 million, pretty much. All right, 250 million, basically 500 million between 87k and 87,300. And if we look at what the effect on the chart was there, it was a dump below that level, right? First of all, we see price coming directly to where those liquidations are sitting, straight there, like straight flagpole, day after day, dumping, straight down to the 87k level with this 500 million sitting waiting to be liquidated. And what do we see below that? We see this V-shaped wick down further. And that's what we could see here, right? Straight move down to liquidations. then that V wick down to the price target at 74K. And a lot of you have been following my analysis, and I'm making a New Year's resolution, right? So I'll say it right here and y'all can see if I actually stick to this. But from January, right, there's a few new things we're going to be doing in the community. Some of them I'm quite excited about. Some of them I'm a little bit nervous about. And basically what I'm referring to here is that, okay, y'all know I'm doing analysis now for Coin Bureau. I'm doing 2 videos per week on Coin Bureau trading, and it's taking up a lot of my time, and my channel has been taking more of a backseat. I haven't been releasing as many videos, but I'm gonna make a resolution right here, and it's gonna be written down on New Year's Eve that from January I will be dropping a technical analysis. We call it long form, but it's just gonna be an 8-minute video per week on my channel on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and major altcoins, right? I'm not going to be neglecting my own channel because of Coin Bureau. It's super awesome that they're letting me work on both and grow my own channel through Coin Bureau. Huge shout out to anyone who's in the chat from the Coin Bureau crew. It's been absolutely amazing, huge learning for me. But I am going to be doing a short video, a long form video, and a live stream every week. All right, so let's see if I can do it. And then the next one is going to be the 6-pack challenge, right? We're going to do a 90-day 6-pack challenge, because literally trading has made me fat, guys. Trading has made me fat. Like, I've got the bicep, right? I've got the bicep, but you don't want to see my stomach. You don't want to see what's going on here, right? Look at this. Look at that. So we got 90 days from January to hit a 6-pack, to hit an 8-pack, and it's going to be, I think, in my Discord, right? It's going to be a channel in my Discord. Everyone's welcome to join, and I want to see who has the kahunas, right, to be with me. To not only trade every day, to analyze every day, but to work out every day. I'm going to be dropping workouts, specific workouts for everybody, and we're going to get a 6-pack in 90 days, right? It's enough time. It's enough time. It's almost 100 days. We can do it. So let me know if you're keen for it. I know we all struggle with the belly, right? Except for some of the Nigerians who just have the genes of gods. But anyway, let's get back into the trading. Awesome stuff. All right, yeah, the discipline, right? It will help you so much, not just in your trading. Not just in your trading. Please continue, sire. Please continue. Start talking nonsense about your belly fat. Okay, let's keep going, y'all. Okay, so a lot of you have been following my analysis here. Another reason why this would really make sense for me would be a bullish divergence on this time frame. And actually it would be, I think, on the weekly time frame now. We'll check it out too. But if you bring up your relative strength index here on the daily time frame, you can even see I've got it drawn in here. We managed at this 81, wasn't even 79, it was the 81k level. Look how low we came on relative strength on the daily. It's been a very long time since we hit that level, right? It was literally March, the last time we hit that level. And look what happened, right? We're gonna see, in my opinion, this is very likely a rhyme of what we saw here in March at the beginning of the year. It's clear as day. Does everybody see this bullish divergence? It was an absolute banger. And there was a trick that came in, right? So I want everybody to be aware of the trick that came in. But it was actually a very nice double bottom at the ultimate entry. And it was pretty much the same entry at the bull. But this is what I want everybody to look at. All right, the first low, what we've seen now. Same thing, bear flag down to a lower low and a bullish divergence, and then crazy confusion. But from that level, we saw, you know, one of the best rallies we've seen in a very, very long time. Crazy price action all the way up to our current all-time highs. Right, so if you got this bullish divergence, it's a mega swing trade, right? Your ultimate take profit could have been 63% up on Bitcoin. Crazy. So this is something that I'm eyeing on the charts here because it's just looking too similar, guys. It's looking too similar what we're seeing here. Okay, let me clean it up a little bit so it doesn't get too confusing. But let me just draw it in again. Basically, what we're looking at here is if this flagpole does play out, and I mean, we are seeing confusion, right? We're seeing the kind of dojis that could lead to that kind of a flagpole. These very confused levels, and let's just go to the weekly and see what candle we're looking at here. And lo and behold, it is a doji of note on the weekly. All right, does everybody see this candle? Ultimate confusion. And what this candle means is that no one really knows what's going to happen. And we could go drastically down from here, or we could go drastically up from here. And something we're also seeing that's very important on this time frame is the range that has been created by this long-legged doji. All right, it was a very important learning for me when I first realized how important. You can call it a dragonfly, you can call it a spinning top. I like the idea of calling it a long-legged doji. That's my favorite name for it. And it's hella important, right? This candle is one of the most important candles you can see because it's all wick. It's all wick, baby. Which means that the volatility was massive. And what it does here is it creates a range. And this range will get tapped to both sides. Right, we very quickly saw the tapping of the top. Well, let me draw it. There we go. But what I'm telling y'all is that the bottom of this range is going to be tapped. And then it's like, why not? Why would the whales not just liquidate all those traders at 82? Right, so there's lots of information here that's causing us to see a magnet here. It's hard to draw on this weekly time frame. I've got the magnet's not even on. But anyway, there's our magnet. All right. And it's pulling us down. Terrible. All right. And then I'm going to go back to the daily time frame. And it's not looking good, right? We're tapping against this. And maybe this liquidity as resistance is being eaten up. It does look like the bulls do want to break back into this channel. But I think everybody knows what I'm going to do next. It's my favorite indicator. It is actually the best indicator tutorial. Well, the best that one of my trading tutorials has done on YouTube. It's still cruising. It's teaching so many people. I'm getting so much nice feedback. Yeah, I need to cut my hair. All right, but the next thing is this fixed range volume profile on this entire mess that we've had here at this extremely volatile, very messy top. All right, so all of this information as much as you can possibly get in. And then, of course, we look at the high volume nodes. All right, interesting that our value area low is sitting directly at that 82K level. We can see that value area low does like to be tapped multiple times with lower levels to bring in the bullish divergences before we have the big rally. We've tapped it once. We could very easily dig into it again, and we could actually very easily dig into the value area low in a much deeper way. All right, let me quickly draw that in again. Very important, and I want you to all draw this fixed range volume profile in on your charts. I know that you need a trading view to actually use this fixed range volume profile. You need the essential plan, which is the most basic plan, but very important. All right, 82 level, massive liquidations, also the value area low, and all we've received so far this time is a wick into the value area low, which in my opinion means deeper levels are calling. It's quite clear to see the levels that I'm looking for are basically this very low volume level between these two high volume nodes. To me is looking like a very juicy level for a long. And then really it's this level here. And I know this is going to scare a lot of you, right? 67K. 67K. And then our largest level of volume within our value area low is 63,000. So it's really a time to be super logical. Because if we lose whatever, bear flag this is to our 74K target, and you see how this low volume zone between these two high volume nodes is sitting perfectly at our target for our bear flag. All right, one of the reasons I'm scoping this level for a high leverage swing long trade. But let me be very clear, it will be a tight stop loss under this zone, because if we lose this zone, you don't want to enter massive drawdown here. We're very likely to get a bounce here where you can take initial profits and put your stop to break even. And then you've got another opportunity. If you get stopped out here, you've got this opportunity for a level that is extremely likely to give us a nice bounce, right? Because there's massive volume there sitting at that node. With a tight stop loss, that'll be your high leverage tight stop loss swing play. And then, you don't want to enter the drawdown there. You'd rather enter a different trade. Get stopped out. Use 1% of your margin. Because if you're using high leverage and 1% of your margin, if you get the play back up to POC, you're making money, right? You don't need to be entering massive margin here. It's a play that could give you very high ROI, especially say you're going in 100x. I mean, say you're only using whatever, $10 on 100x, right? Even just to POC. It's beautiful. You're making 3,600%. Very, very nice. All right. And please just live to play another day, right? Position sizing as well as stop loss, risk management. Don't let yourself enter the massive drawdown. All right. The next thing I want to talk about are the levels above us. We can see exactly why there are, these levels that are currently holding us up, because they are very clear to see our largest levels, our largest volume levels, our highest volume nodes within the fixed range volume profile. And really the fixed range volume profile for me has become the ultimate tool, right? The best indicator, the most important thing to put on your charts. Because really it gives you the levels. It gives you the levels to go long, and it also gives you the levels to take profits on those longs, right? It's literally giving us all of our support and resistance levels. If you go and draw in all of the high volume nodes, you'll see the levels that Bitcoin bounces between. And actually, even as an intraday trader, you can just watch for when Bitcoin is coming down to those levels, and then you can take profits at the resistance levels and look for bounces back down at the support levels, right? These high volume nodes are consistently flipping between support and resistance. And we can see the real one that we have to break is the OG, right? The big brother. By far, the biggest level of volume and the highest volume node is the POC, and it's sitting at 96K. And really what we need to break in order to get there, we've been through this before, is the year open. So if we look at the first day of this year, we were right here at 93K. This is the level that we're really struggling to break. In order to get to the POC, we need to lose POC. We need to defeat POC. And then it's going to be quite a smooth ride because there's no volume here, right? So it's quite a smooth ride up to at least 105K. And that's definitely going to give us resistance for a few reasons. All right, if we take, as I was explaining yesterday in the Bybit live stream, this can be seen as a new structure. So this can be seen as a trend, and this can be seen as a trend. And when you see that, obviously it's best to cluster your Fibonacci's when you're confused about which is the actual trend. But where I'm actually going to draw the main Fibonacci is from this level to this level, because for me right now, that's the completed trend, because there was a new structure here, and then this was the break of structure. And looking at it now, there's also an awesome SMC order block right there that we've got to look at. All right, but first of all, we're going to do the Fibonacci retracement on this trend. And you can do wicks, you can do bodies. This time it's relatively similar between wicks and bodies because the wicks aren't that different to the bodies. But let's do the bodies. And then we can see that the golden pocket for where we're likely to get a proper reversal is sitting right at this high volume node. So if you put a horizontal line at the high volume node, and this level 104K, I know this chart's getting messy, but this is the second highest level of volume, right? Our POC is the highest level. Then 104K is our second highest level of volume. So it's our second most important zone, and it's sitting at this golden pocket. Very, very important. So it looks like that's going to be a major level for a short, no matter what happens here. All right, so the scenario here that I'm going to give, I'm not going to try predict what's going to happen here because it's end of year. And most of you know that things can just go absolutely nuts. Okay, let's take this out. Okay, of course, the first scenario here is that the bulls step in and we manage to break back in to this parallel channel. We can break out of the top of the parallel channel, we break POC, and we go towards that 105K level. The other option is that we go for the bear flag target. We create that massive bullish divergence, and then we make a play back up towards the POC. And that, both of those plays, I'm basically looking for a nice reversal from that golden pocket level, from this second highest volume node. Let's just leave that drawn in. And what I want to see there is a reversal and then a higher low for the new trend. All right, please let me know in the chat if you're clear with me on what I'm saying. Please give me 2 seconds. All right, so that's also another nice scenario, another nice option. You know, as I mentioned, if we do head up from here, 93K, this median line. Interesting. So basically the short squeeze, right? Solar is calling for the short squeeze. And then down to the 75, 74. Could happen, man. Very, very nice and logical. And you know what? At this point, it would be silly to say, oh, this is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to predict. And I've said this many times. In my opinion, the best way to trade is to look for zones and levels of particular interest for a certain direction. And then once you reach them, you look for the right signals, right? Especially on your market cipher. All right, so talking about market cipher, let's have a look what's going on here. And it looks like we are going to get a green dot sometime soon here on the daily market cipher. We can see everything's looking good, except for the fact that our green dot is not going to fall at or below the 45. And it's super tempting to take, and we can still take the trade, but we're not going to go in as heavy on this trade as we would with this kind of a distance below our 45 line, right? The 45 line is really the line in the sand for a solid position of power on the wave trend for your buy dot. And here we can see it's imminent, right? Our wave trend wants to cross its slow moving average. It looks like within the next few hours, we're going to get a green buy dot on this market cipher, which is a trigger wave. And as I say, it's close enough to the 45-degree line to take it, but I would take it with less margin and less leverage, so less risk, basically, than you would do, you know, if your trigger wave was sitting in some kind of zone like this. And we can see the last trigger wave on this daily time frame was an absolute beauty because it was sitting in such a nice level with such a nice distance below the 45-degree line. Not only that, but we also got a beautiful cross of the VWAP, and our money flow is pointing up, which is our 3, perfect options. Please watch the trigger wave strategy video that I dropped on Coin Bureau Trading recently. It's on my page under the Coin Bureau Trading playlist, and it has everything you need to know to trade this strategy, and the strategy is absolute gold. It is really one of the most brilliant trading strategies I have ever found in a decade of trading. I have not seen something this accurate. And CryptoFace created this indicator. He created this strategy. He's actually live on YouTube right now. Don't go watch his stream. Stay in my stream. Watch his stream after. But he's currently trading $1 million right now on Bybit. It is super, super awesome. And he's using this. He's using trigger waves. He's using the divergences. He's using market cipher. All right, and look at that trade. It was an absolute banger, right? We got the signal somewhere in this green candle, and it was this very nice 10% straight up. Beautiful, beautiful profit. And actually back down to the same level, tiny bit of drawdown, and then even more profit. Continuation, even more profit. Very, very nice signal. And these trigger waves on the daily are absolutely awesome. They do work on the lower time frames. I have a few traders in the community, like McCall is even trading the money flow on the 1 minute. He's extremely experienced now with Market Cipher. So learn it on the daily. All right, learn it on the daily, move to the 4 hour, but this strategy works even on the 15 minute, all the way down to the 3 minute. We know Blaze, right? Blaze trades this strategy on the 1 minute, on the 30-second time frame. Crazy. All right, so drop me a message if you're still here. We're not going to do a long one today, guys. Hey, let's go, McCall. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. That's absolutely crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy, man. Okay, so we're going into your indicator, brother. We're going into the Market Cipher. And for those who are just getting into Market Cipher, McCall, I know you trade this indicator pretty much exclusively right now. And what's so beautiful about this indicator is it is something that you can trade. Like, I would usually say never trade one indicator, but this indicator isn't one indicator, right? It's like 11 indicators in one indicator. And when you can have such a rounded strategy in one indicator, I would say go ahead. And I always say bring in 2 other levels of confluence. So in the trigger wave strategy, it's an absolute beaut, right? The 3 levels of confluence are the green dot, the money flow pointing up, and the VWAP crossing. And it really is enough, but I always say 5 levels. So any other indicators that you can bring in, literally no matter what it is, right? Like even if you bring up the stochastic and you say, okay, look at that. The stochastic crossed its slow moving average. Boom. That's another level. You can even say, oh, it's a move away from a high volume node support level. Boom. That's another level of confluence. Then you have your 5 levels of confluence. And really, guys, this strategy is unbreakable. Please, please, please. Let me actually show the video so that everybody can be very aware of where to find it. All right, so on my channel, you come down to these Coin Bureau videos, and you'll see here, Market Cipher Trigger Wave Pro Scalping Strategy. Please, please watch it. It's absolutely awesome. It's a banger. I put a lot of effort into it. It's, you know, it's CryptoFace's whole career that he's put into this strategy. It's years and years of training that I've put into that video. So please just take advantage of it, and trust me, once you start trading that strategy properly, you're going to make money, guys. You're going to stop faffing around with all of these other strategies that are sometimes wins, sometimes losses. And if you're doing this properly, did anyone just see this green dot is flashing? Look at the green dot busy flashing as we are talking about it. Are we getting a live trade? McCall, are we getting a live trade? This is crazy. Yo, speak of the devil, right? Talking about this green dot and then it appears. That is nuts. All right, we're also getting stochastic crossing up. That's good to see. Let's see where our relative is here. I mean, that could also be the bull, right? That could also be the bullish divergence. So let's see solar here. Let's see if your call is right and we're going up to that 93K level. But as I said, right, the green dot is not falling below the 45. So yes, it can be a nice trade, but like just take it chilled, right? It's nowhere near as juicy as this one. It can still give us the 10%, but just take it easy. All right, so we can see that technically money flow is pointing up, not as drastically as we saw it pointing up right here. So I would say keep an eye on this money flow. And I know CryptoFace is going long right now. Like, should we even just take a tiny peek onto what's happening in his stream? Let's take a tiny peek in what's happening in CryptoFace's stream. All right, he is live right now. Oh, it looks like he's taking profits. He's taking profits already. Oh, he's trading ETH, guys. He's trading ETH. He's looking at the breakout on ETH for the retest. This is the best trader you'll ever see, honestly. This is the best trader on YouTube. Everybody go give him a follow. He's also hilarious. He's also hilarious. All right, USDT dominance will end soon, so we have a pullback. Okay, I did actually want to go onto USDT dominance, so we'll look at that shortly. Oh, ciao Bella, grazie mille, welcome, welcome. Iker, never too late, never too late. We're having fun. It's not going to be a long one. I know you like the shorter ones. We're going to go for max another 40 minutes, guys. Max another 40 minutes. Don't forget to hit the like shot, my brother. Okay, 1 minute scalping going well. I know at first you called it a bad habit, but what's so crazy about Market Cipher is you can actually use money flow on the 1 minute to scalp and be profitable, right? Blaze uses the 30-minute time frame, and he's one of the most profitable scalpers I know. All right, and as I mentioned, Shento, one of my new friends, he has a really, really great strategy that he trades $1 million scalps on, high leverage, $1 million, and he's agreed to come teach us, guys. So that's going to be awesome. He's going to teach us his $1 million scalping strategy. Okay, what's happening here? Green dot flashing means we're about to confirm some bullish moves. Yeah, it's not even flashing anymore. Now it's just printed. All right, I do never trust the green dot until the candle close. But I mean, it's hard not to have FOMO here on this candle close because it's a daily candle. Why is it not showing me there? Still 8 hours left in this candle, right? If this candle closes so nice and strong, then yeah, we're likely to print that green dot. And you know what? We could actually print a bull here. This is what I'm saying. If we print that green dot, no, not really. We're not at a lower price. Okay, scratch that. No bullish divergence. We're not at a lower price. So honestly, in my opinion, what could happen here is we could unprint, right? You can see this green candle is at heavy resistance right now. Resistance, heavy support flipped into resistance. We could, if we reject from here, we could unprint this green candle. And really, I want to come lower, right? I want to be below the 45. And I also want to print lower prices so that we can get this bullish divergence, because really the bullish divergence on the daily is the lower risk, higher reward trade. And these trigger waves are more of a scalping strategy, even though it's daily time frame. But I mean, this is looking cool. We got VWAP about to cross. So McCall, let me know if you're entering into this or what your confirmations are that you're looking for. Of course, from here, if we're seeing these daily confirmations, we can go to the 4-hour time frame and see what's happening. Wow. All right, 4-hour already gave the banger move. Look at that. And this is actually a nice example here of how to use the trigger wave strategy on a slightly lower time frame. Again, it's not at the 45-degree line, so if you're going to go in, you go in with less risk, so less margin, less leverage. But we can see there's the trigger wave, there's the VWAP crossing, and then this has happened before, where I've told everyone, if you see your money flow flat when you get a trigger wave signal, you don't go in, you wait for money flow to point up. And your signal will still be valid. Your VWAP cross is still valid, your green dot is still valid, but you've waited for the third signal, right? To go long with this flat money flow would not be the 3 levels of confidence that you need for the strategy. So you wait for money flow to point up. And you can see that as money flow pointed up, you got the 3 levels. And it was a beautiful trade. It was a beautiful trade from when this money flow gave you this, okay, guys, in this candle, money's coming in, y'all. Money's coming in. And then you got this beautiful 3% candle. And of course, on the 4-hour, it's even more of a scalping technique. And let's actually look what's happening here with our divergence strategy on this 4-hour time frame. Okay, so the last bear was nice. The last bear was an absolute banger. And McCall, I believe you did get this bear, right? I believe you did get this bear. What a nice trade. Look at that. Woo! Straight to juicy profits, back up to entry, and then all the way back down to super juicy profits. So if you were trading this with the way I would recommend, then you most likely, first of all, let's just break it down very quickly. I'm not going to waste too much time on this, but if you smashed a short position from this bearish divergence, you would have given yourself buffer for your stop loss at least above the previous swing low. you then would have taken your first bit of profit already at your 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. All right, this is really what I do recommend. And it's almost like a gambling strategy, right? I gambled for the first time. I don't believe in gambling, but I was persuaded, right? I was dragged into the casino by Mr. Chento, this other trader that I've met recently. Bro has Aston Martins, bro has Patek Philippe's. He's actually a professional boxer, but he's one of the best traders I've ever met. And he pulled me into the casino and we played blackjack for like 4 hours. And I actually, it sounds crazy, but in gambling, we made a lot of money. We made like 3,000 euros. But what I learned from that is not only a little bit about counting cards or whatever, but it's about risk management, even when it comes to gambling, right? And of course, we don't gamble, right? We trade. I would say to any gambler, rather trade, right? Because yes, trading is risky, but at least there's strategy to it, and at least you're more likely. Gambling, you know, any machine in the casino will just take your money, which is why the only thing I will do would be blackjack, because there's more of a chance that you can beat the house or whatever. But what I learned is take your initial margin off the table, guys. Take your initial margin off the table. If you go into the trade, or if you go into the casino with 500 euros, and then you make whatever, 200 euros, take that 500 euros, put it in your pocket and say, I'm not going to use that anymore. And the remaining risk is on your profits. So your remaining risk is nothing. Of course, you might lose your initial, and that's the risk you take when you come into a trade, right? But this is a banger strategy, and we didn't hit stop loss because everything was perfect, right? Bearish divergence, VWAP cross, money flow, everything's looking great. So when you get to your 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you take your initial profits off the table, and then you leave what you've made to run. And what we can see here is that, you know, such a beautiful outcome, because then your other take profits are obviously based on your Fibonacci levels. So all you do is you take a Fibonacci retracement on the previous trend, and you can see exactly where your next take profits are. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, and look at that take profit, 0.618 golden pocket level to the dollar at the reversal. Super, super beautiful. But then what you'll see is after 1, 2, 3, 4, probably even for many people, fifth and final take profit, then a move back to stop loss, right? I would always say, even that final take profit, leave a little bit in the trade. But there we see trade stopped out at break even after 5 take profits. All right, so I'm doing a lot of preaching. I hope everybody's listening. Already on the long from lower. Okay, so that was that 4 hour, right? Did you get in on the 4 hour? You probably got in here. Look at these trigger waves, guys. Look at these trigger waves. So this 4 hour trigger wave is really what you want to look for, because do you see how low this trigger wave is below the 45 line? We saw the same thing on the daily recently. But that's... McCall, let us know if that's your entry. I mean, what a banger entry. 85 on the long. Drop us a screenshot into my Discord, into the live trading charts, and I'll bring it up on the screen. Because really, McCall's doing so well, guys. McCall is milking this market every day, becoming so profitable, and he's using the strategies that I'm teaching. So yeah, McCall, drop me your snapshot of your current trade so I can bring it up. But I want everyone to see here, right, how beautiful this 4 hour trigger wave trade is, because we had the VWAP. And I mean, it's time after time. Even this was a nice scalp, right? It is a scalping strategy. But any scalping strategy can turn into a swing trade at your first take profit when you put your stop loss to break even. But anyway, we had the VWAP cross. We had money flow very clearly pointing up. And when you want to find your money flow angle, you just extend your chart like this, right? And you zoom in on your money flow. And look at this angle that came in on money flow. Absolutely perfect with the VWAP cross, with the trigger wave on the wave trend. Trifecta, beautiful trade. And we can see there was another nice opportunity. I mean, you don't all have to follow my risk management strategy, which is to take the 1-to-1 I actually learned it from Tuffy. I don't know if Tuffy's with us, but to take your initial margin off the table at your 1-to-1. So you likely would have put your stop loss below this previous high volume node. And then your first take profit would have been at already a 1-to-1. So entry at the, what a nice entry, right? At the green dot. Somewhere in this candle, right? First take profit 1-to-1. And then you can see, depending on where you entered, I mean, look at this. You went straight up to the next take profits. And then break even, guys. Break even. And yeah, this is more of a scalp, but you could have done your take profits something like this. And then look at all these take profits hit. Shwep. Beautiful. And then down to your break even. Really, really nice example. Really nice trade. And it shows how Market Cipher can just grow you into such a brilliant, beautiful, beautiful trader. And you don't even have to start on the weekly or the monthly. You can start on the daily. And if you practice these, of course, you're going to have to wait longer on the daily, right? But that's what backtesting is about. That's being patient, building a trading plan, understanding an indicator. And then once you start nailing those daily trades, you come down on the 4-hour, you start coming down to the 1 hour, the 15-minute. Should we have a look at the 1 hour? I don't want anyone to get too excited here, but just take a look at this strategy, guys. Look at this trigger wave at the 45 line. All right, it's the exact same thing. It's one strategy you have to learn that works on all these time frames. Of course, the lower down the time frames you're going, the more scalpy it is. All right, so the tighter your stop losses are, the less risk you're giving. But I mean, look at this, guys. Beautiful. VWAP crossed, money flow up. Beautiful scalp trade from the trigger wave on the 1 minute time frame. Almost 5% up. It's gorgeous. And this one was, of course, even better. 1 hour bullish divergence. And of course, the lower you go down in the time frames, the more like fake signals you're going to get, right? Not all of these signals are going to work. Let me be very clear. Risk management, you will get a high win rate, but not all the signals are going to work. So don't tell yourself, oh, I'm seeing it, let me go in with my whole portfolio, because maybe it is that 40%, 30% of losing in the win rate, and you wreck your whole portfolio, right? So that's a no-no. And here we did see, right? There was the VWAP cross, and money flow wasn't looking good. If you were patient, like I say, if money flow is looking good, you hold onto your horses for the signal, which is the VWAP and the bullish divergence, 2 already printed. And then you wait and you see, okay, now money flow is starting to look better. And in general, money flow is pointing in an upwards direction. And then you get this beautiful, beautiful outcome. So anywhere around here, you would note, okay, look at that. Money flow is making higher lows. Money flow is pointing up. Boom. Very, very nice. Bullish divergence, 5% on the 1 hour time frame. And I mean, it's so crazy. Like, I don't want to confuse anyone and make anyone too excited. I know we've got a lot of newbies, and I'm going to go into the chat now. I see the chat is hot. But literally, if you go to the 1 minute time frame, and this is where you really have to be very on it, right? You have to read your money flow, which, as McCall knows, is the most important, right? You find your signals, and then you only move when the money moves. That's it. But here we can see this is 1 minute time frame, guys. This is extreme rodeo. And what I would say is just go open a demo account on Bybit, and that's where you play rodeo. That's where you have fun. All right, if you've got a $10,000 account, then go play rodeo with $10. But make them isolated trades, right? Keep yourself safe. But here we see the bullish divergence. We see the VWAP cross, but we see money flow pointing down. Then we see a nice wick. We see money flow pointing up. We bang the trade, and there it is. 1 minute time frame. Bullish divergence. Like when I first heard Blaze tell me, yeah, I scalped the 30-minute time frame with Market Cipher, I was like, nah, dude, you know, that's gambling. Here, it's before our eyes, guys. It's before our eyes. 1 minute bullish divergence, 1.6%. Very, very cool. But please don't go do this if you're a newbie, because this is like at least 5 years of trading. At least 5 years of trading. Okay, we're into the casino. It was like hell. It is, bro. I hate it. I hate it. It's one of my worst things in the world. because it's stealing from vulnerable people, right? But I was convinced, I was persuaded, and we had a good night. We had a good night. I'll never do it again. It wasn't my money, right? It wasn't my money. All right, long from 85, 86 level and short from 92 level because we're currently... Okay, so you did get the 4 hour. Nice. You got the 4 hour green dot. Beautiful, beautiful work. All right, holding shorts from 93. So you're hedged. Sick. That's amazing work, man. All right, so I've been pushing the hedge trading strategy for a long time, and I think maybe that's going to be one of my upcoming videos. I'm working on a spider lines video, which I'm very excited about. Spider lines is also one of the less used methods of analysis, but it's one of the more used methods by the OGs, all right? By the very few crypto influencers that actually make money trading. They're using spider lines, right? I know, McCall, you also use spider lines. Happy clappy track. All right, so let me know if anyone's keen for the spider lines, and then we'll also do a hedge trading tutorial. I think it's super, super important. And for the hedge, let's go to this daily parallel channel, right? Because this is a beautiful example of how you can actually access this hedge trading strategy. You look for a trading range. I'm just gonna take out these lines for now because they're so easy to put in. All you do is you clap on your FRVP and you horizontal lines on the fixed range nodes. All right, but look at this. Once you establish a trading range, you can go and start to hedge trade, which means you enter longs at the support. And of course, you saw here already, you need a massive buffer. You need a massive buffer, which means that you enter very small at the support, and then you add to your trade the lower you go towards your stop. You must have a stop, but you need a really, really big stop, and you can clearly see how big that stop loss should be based on this previous wick, right? You need like a big, almost a 4% buffer for loss below the support because of how crazy the charts are. And then what you go do is you enter your longs at the support and you enter your shorts at the resistance, but you don't close either trade. All right, you take major profits for the long here, but you don't close it. And you take major profits for the short there, but you don't close it. You leave both trades open, and it's just, McCall can adhere to this, right? Because here's McCall in the shorts and in the longs. And what's so amazing here is when you're at this level, like, you know, that's pretty much the POC. Like if we draw a fixed range on this little range here, which is obviously the other thing that you should do, right? And try to make sure that you're entering your shorts from the value area high and you're entering your longs from the value area low. I'll take out this other fixed range volume profile so it doesn't confuse you. But here you can see where the major profits should be taken at the POC. And what's so great about this is when you're at fair value, when you're sitting right here, you're just feeling so good about yourself because you're in profit on a short and a long at the same time. And it's a lovely trading strategy. I know it's difficult to wrap your head around. And I know on all of the trading platforms, like when you start to hedge trade, you actually need to understand your platform a lot better because there's a lot of maths that goes into understanding the ROI on both positions. You know, like making sure that your mode is not a one-way mode, first of all. And when you add positions, they will be combined positions. So maybe that's, you know, it will be part of my hedge trading video. But yeah, it's really worth learning, guys. This is the way that the biggest traders trade because that's how you milk a range. You don't want to only be doing longs because then you're only winning on one side of the market, right? You want to be winning on these shorts as well as these longs. So yeah, I mean, super amazing. Where's your short? 93. Oh, pretty much value area high. Not bad at all. But you're a market cipher trader, so beautiful stuff. It looks like you waited for the red dot, or you're probably trading the 4 hour. Beautiful trigger wave on the 4 hour. So I can see your entry, and it's really, really nice, right? But what we can see here is McCall is now... where's the other one? From 87. And there we can see, I mean, am I right that you're scalping these 4 hour trigger waves? Because here I can see where you most likely entered your short. And here I can see where you most likely entered your long. And what's happening now is he's way in profit on the short, and he's also coming into nice profit on the long. And you can see, you know, where you take your major profits is right in the middle, but you leave something in the trade. You take major profits here, but you don't close the trade. And when you come back up, you just add to that short again. You rinse and repeat the range. And every range will break, but we know that Bitcoin does like to range. And you know, one of the best sayings is that every range is a gold mine. That's why, you know, spot trading or accumulation can sometimes be so annoying if you're just an investor. Because what we're seeing is if you've bought Bitcoin, even DCA, like I do, right? I buy Bitcoin in every daily candle. So if we look at the daily, I've bought Bitcoin, boom, for the last, 2 weeks, for the last month, and really my average price is the same. But if you've been hedging this range, it's crazy. So really where we established the range was, depends how sharp you are, but pretty much here, right? You could look for the resistance up there, and you could go for the long here with this daily green dot. And even if you're trading on a 1x here, you're literally multiplying your portfolio 10%. Then boom, short from the top of the parallel channel, another 10% on the short. And then boom, from the bottom of the channel to the top, another 10% on the long. And it's so nice to obviously couple this kind of a hedge trading strategy with your longer term investment accumulation strategy. Because sometimes it won't work, guys. Sometimes you'll break the range and get stopped out and you get lost. You make losses, right? But I mean, this is crazy because if you're doing this even on a 1x, you're multiplying your portfolio by, geez, a lot. Or at least making profits. Okay, cool. I've done a lot of ranting. How are y'all feeling? I see that the crew is in the building. Why can't I see our likes? Why can't I see our likes? What are our likes on? Usually I can see the likes. Anyway, like the video, like the stream if you're enjoying it, guys. Like the stream if you're enjoying it. Okay, let me go through the chat. Big Dreams in the building. Everybody please go give Big Dreams a subscribe on his channel. He's got big dreams, guys, and I respect that, right? I hope everybody saw my last video with Carl from the moon. It's super important, guys. Please watch it. It's about mindset and it's about manifestation, and I really do believe in this stuff. I believe that it's the key to success. Please go watch this video. For me, it's one of the most important videos that I've ever dropped. It's mind first, guys. You can't be rich, you can't be wealthy if you're not wealthy first in your mind. It just doesn't match up. The universe will not let you. If you're thinking from a place of lack, right? If you're thinking from a problematic poverty cycle place in your head, you can't make the profits. You have to break free first mentally. And Carl is probably the most successful YouTuber of all time, right? He's buying $1 million watches. If you can buy $1 million watches, you're doing something right. So please go watch that video. Let me know what you think. Okay, what do you guys want to do? We're not going to be streaming for too much longer. There was so much more that I wanted to do, but I just got really caught up speaking about Market Cipher because it's so dear to me, guys. Once I found Market Cipher, trading became less gambling. Right? Trading became much more profitable. Posted 3 of my current trades into Discord. Perfect, brother. Perfect. Let me open it up. Once trade crosses position by accident, got liquidated 3K. Woo! Cross position by accident. Oh, guys. So this is my advice, right? I would trade on cross, especially if you are experienced. Trade on cross, but set multiple stop losses, not one stop loss. And make sure, first of all, the reason to trade on cross is that your liquidation is much further away, right? Because you're using maintenance margin from your spot, etc. But then make sure that you have not only your stop loss, as you should always have it, but then you have a trailing stop. You even have limit sell orders. You make every effort to make sure that you never get liquidated. And then again, you don't have one trading account. If you're trading cross margin, don't trade on the account where you're holding in spot, right? Like if you're trading on Bybit on cross margin, put your USDT savings liquidity into savings so that you can't liquidate them, right? If your futures gets liquidated, whatever's in your spot, my advice would be to keep $1,000 in your UTA as maintenance margin, because that allows you no liquidations on your futures trades. But don't have more than that, because like you don't want to risk full account liquidation. Put the rest into staking on Bybit. Money flow is king. All right, so I'm going to be making more videos, I think, based on just understanding market cipher. Yeah, I mean, honestly, cross trading is very, 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 very preferable. There are infinite reasons to cross trade. The main being like how much space you get from your liquidations. It's so much easier to manage your trades. You know, like anyone trading large margin, you know, they'll never trade on isolated because your liquidation is like so close. You don't even have room for drawdown or adding to your trades. So cross, to be honest, is much better. But you have to practice it, and you have to practice capital preservation when you're trading on cross. Oh, nice words. Love from India. Let's go. Blessings, blessings, my brother. Your videos help me learn a lot of valuable things. Keep going. Love from India. Avarma. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the chat. Please let me know if we've met in real life. Did we meet in Portugal? How did you find my channel? 18 likes, guys. Are you for real? 18 likes. Come on. Come on, guys. We need a little bit more likes. I was gonna say 100 likes for a giveaway, but now that's seeming a little bit unattainable. But anyway, all good. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's go. 6 abs in 100 days and Bitcoin for 65K and we can finish. Yeah, I've been thinking of growing out my beard until Bitcoin hits all-time high. How about that, right? I don't shave until Bitcoin hits all-time high. You're going to see Osama bin Laden out here. Like if we go to 50K. Does the strategy work for shorts also? Octavia, nice name. All right, so let me know exactly which strategy you're talking about, but yes, market cipher is definitely a both way kind of strategy. We were talking about the previous 4-hour successful trigger wave, right? So please watch my trigger wave video in my Coin Bureau trading playlist. And there's also a divergence tutorial, and they go hand in hand, right? Because sometimes a trigger wave will turn into a bearish divergence. But yeah, very much. You know, this was an amazing short trade from this bearish divergence, which was also a trigger wave. And then this was the previous, you know, super amazing short trade, which it looks like McCall nailed here on the 4-hour time frame. It was somewhere right between this double top, which then went on all the way to value area low. So yes, as you can see, it's an incredible both direction strategy. Okay, let me just look at my notes because I know I have to hop off soon. I actually have a meeting to get to pretty soon, an in-person meeting. I've got like another 20 minutes, guys. So let me know what you want to do. We've looked at the liquidation heat map. We looked at the golden pocket, the high value nodes, high volume nodes. Oh, we haven't done BTC dominance. Always on cross because of the hedging, and I barely get liquidated. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna trade on cross, make it your absolute mission to not get liquidated, right? How crazy is this move to POC? I've just seen this. How nuts is that POC? Take profit on the hedge trading strategy. Amazing. So yeah, like go on to demo, right? If you feel ready to move over from isolated, let me be clear, right? First, it's demo. Demo on spot trading, 1x demo. Then it's like literally you spot trade for a year, 6 months to a year to 2 years, while trading futures on demo. Then you start to paper trade once you've backtested your trading strategy on demo and you're profitable. Like, be honest with yourself. You need to be profitable on demo before you use real money. Like, it seems so simple, but I'm telling you, less than 5% of traders will first practice their strategy on demo. It's like clearly logical, but no one does it, and it hurts me. It's like so obvious. Get some refreshments and stay tuned. I also need some refreshments, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have no voice for my meeting now. All right, so go to demo, guys. When you trade all the time, but especially when you're trading your margin, changing your margin mode from isolated to cross first, as with anything different that you're doing, you back test it on demo. Found your channel to learn parallel channels. Awesome. Can't thank you enough. Let's go, brother. Thank you so much. I saw that the parallel channel video has started being pushed out by the algorithm. I was quite stoked to see that. We can see fixed range volume profile is definitely helping the most people. We're almost at 5K, but then parallel channels is starting to catch up. So that's awesome to hear, man. Awesome to hear, and lovely to have you. Okay, hi, Fadim Malsa. Beautiful. Let us know if you're new to the community. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure that you're putting notifications on, because I'm going to be going live at some random times, and I want you all to get that notification. All right, Husseini wants uni. Let me just quickly go into the Discord. Did you drop it in the live trading? Ah, there, I see it. All right, let's have a look at McCall's trades here. And everybody join the Discord. Everybody join the Discord. I'll drop the link in the chat right now. If you're not in the Discord, get involved. That's also where we're going to be doing some of our challenges. And really, guys, the 6-pack challenge is going to be a test for how we're going to do trading challenges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get exchanges and prop firms to put up funded accounts and capital for winners of challenges. And I'm going to see if we can do it with Bybit, where we'll get Bybit to give us, like, say $1,000, right? And then we have a challenge where you have to be on a Bybit account and you have to go from $100 to $1,000, and then we'll double that. And it's not going to be easy, right? It's not going to be easy. It's one of the hardest things you can do, to do an actual transparent challenge, and especially from something like a 10x, like $100 to $1,000. Anyway, McCall, let's see. All right, so I see this is on demo trading. I know that you are on a funded MUBITE challenge. So just so everyone's aware, we are working with MUBITE. If you want a funded account, you can get it in the description. And I am working on another giveaway, guys. We're going to do another 75K giveaway of 70K giveaway of 7 10K accounts. And there are challenges. They're 2-step challenges. So I know, McCall, this is what you're busy with, is a 2-step challenge. You were a winner of our last giveaway. And I love this, man. I love that you're going 1x, because you don't want to lose that challenge. Ahmad, let us know if you are here. It hurts, guys. It hurts when you lose a challenge. And Ahmad, I'm going to try get you a giveaway. But anyway, let's go. So this is quite a nice position on 1x. All right, already $1,700 up. Oh, then we've got the 100x. Look at that. Market Cipher OG in the building. So, McCall, was this the 4-hour time frame? Crazy, guys. Look at that. 429%. Beautiful, brother. Dang, bro. Multiple banger trades here. Congrats, man. Absolutely awesome, bro. If anybody wants help with a current trade, drop it into the live trading charts, and you know, we'll always try help out. All right, we're gonna end off soon, guys. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Husseini introduced you. Thank you. Awesome stuff. Okay, so before I forget, let me drop some important links. Guys, who's giving me stars? Who's giving me stars in my trading academy? I see 11 stars on my last post. I see 10 stars on the previous post. Absolutely awesome. Thank you to whoever is actually spending money by boosting my channel and giving me stars. Anything you guys do that helps me to grow is so much appreciated. All right, so first off, I'm chatting to Bybit about a crazy campaign. So make sure you get ahead of the game. And also, you know, we do giveaways on the channel. So if you want to be part of our new Bybit campaign, if you want to get any giveaways I give, please sign up under my Bybit link and do your KYC. And then most of you are already there, but if you're not yet there, of course, please do join my Trading Academy channel on Telegram, because that's where I give all of my updates, right? That's my main central point. Is there a giveaway today? I don't think we're going to do a giveaway today, guys. I will definitely do a giveaway if we hit 100 likes. For sure, right? For sure. But I believe we're quite far away. 1 or 2 stars from Italy. Okay, so it's not just one person banging me stars there. But I was so, you know, just like it's so inspired. Not like, I've forgotten the word, guys. It's been a long day, but it makes me happy, right? It makes me want to keep going when y'all give me those stars on Telegram. It's super cool. All right. 2 longs as well as hit TP yesterday on one of the longs. So did you finish the challenge? Did you? What is the profit target on the challenge? Drop us like a challenge breakdown of your current drawdown, your current, like how far you are to the take profit. I really want to see. Okay, do you think above 90K is a confirmation? Okay, good question, good question. So basically looking at this daily green dot, you know, just as I said, guys, look, we got rejected and the green dot disappeared. So never trust that green dot until the candle closes. And I know it's not nice, right? To like have to wait now another 7 hours to confirm that green dot. But you would be shitting, guys. You would be beeping if you entered that trade because the green dot printed, and the green dot printed here, right? So now you're in drawdown and the green dots disappeared and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? So just wait for the candle to close, because if the candle closes, the green dot stays. McCall, am I right? If the candle closes, the green dot stays. Like it can't unprint. And yeah, for confirmation for this, yeah, 90K would be a good confirmation, right? Because we can see that it's the POC and we can see that it's the last major resistance that brought us down. And we can see the last time we broke above it is when we went to value area high. So it is a nice confirmation, but actually I would wait for the confirmations from Market Cipher, which is really for this dot to print and stay on the daily and the 4 hour. But to be honest, I want the bullish divergence here, guys. I want lower prices here so we can print a bull div. But anyway, before we end off, we didn't even get time to do altcoins. It's like I'm used to long live streams, so I just take too long with everything. But let's quickly look at BTCD. Because as we can see, it's flying, and this is super important. Because this means that altcoins are having a devastating time. But really, you got to try flip the fear, right? And you got to be greedy when you see this kind of blood on altcoins. Oh yeah, you can see what I'm looking for here, right? I'm looking for this drastic wick to be hit, liquidity to be swept. And the same thing on the altcoins. It is happening. But if Bitcoin dominance comes all the way up here, we're going to see way more blood. And really, I do think that it is a super ultimate time to be dollar cost averaging your altcoins. Watch my dollar cost averaging video because I break down the whole strategy here. Zcash 700%, guys. What is that? That is ultra manipulation. But we can see here historically beautiful drawdown to be taking advantage of in this top 50. And I would say diversify across the top 50, $1 per day, every day. It's a beautiful way to build a portfolio in a nice, slow, risk managed, patient way. And really, you're buying these amazing levels. ENA 68% down, Avalanche 64% down in the last quarter, basically the last quarter, right? In the last 3 months. Sui, Crow, 88, 58% down. And 88, honestly, I think is like getting to be really the levels I'm gonna start accumulating on like whale amounts, right? Most of you know ADA is one of my most loved coins. And I've been speaking about this level for months. Look at that. I've left it drawn in on my charts, and look at that. We're coming to my level. This is what I want for ADA, 27 cents. But this is the level where I'm going to not only DCA, but now I'm going to start actually buying every dip, right? So every major dip into this level, I'm going to buy at the bottom. But that's just me, right? I like ADA. Doesn't mean you have to. Do your own research, see what you find, see what you like. All right, I'll do one altcoin that was requested for our beloved Husseini. So I'm going to be honest with you here. This is not looking great. I've also heard from a lot of people that Uniswap isn't just not being used, guys. Right? A coin needs to have fundamentals, and fundamentals mean use cases. Which means that the coin needs to be used. Okay, you're on a uni short. Let's go. Look at that. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. On the 2-hour time frame, uni short. So you're very zoomed in, right? You're very zoomed in, but you are in a daily downtrend, so you are looking good. And this is why I love the Discord, guys. I mean, how much fun is that, right? To drop a trade, and then we look at it as a community, and look at this analysis. This is pro analysis right here. It's beautiful. It's clean. Break of structure. SMC order block. Tapped. Trade entered. Like, you can't get more clean and more pro than this. Hats off, Husseini. Super, super nice, man. And we got a MUBITE brother. We got a MUBITE brother in the building. Beautiful stuff. All right, and I will be also doing live streams on the MUBITE Discord coming up starting next week. So that's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to be very short. They're going to be very short, but they're going to be like weekly updates for all of the MUBITE traders, which is pretty cool. And I love MUBITE, guys. They're a small prop firm, but they have a heart, which is really, really cool. And they're a great platform. All right, nice to see, man. So you're going on the challenge with the 2x. You're going on your own account with the 50x. And I was going to say this looks bearish, so you might be in for a good trade here. Of course, you're not entering from like major daily resistance, but the trend is your friend here. Just be aware that there is support, right? There is support here. So obviously you've got this whole nice green candle that we can still retrace, and it could give you your really nice target. But yeah, honestly, I'm looking for much lower levels on uni. Much lower levels on uni. Hold me to this, guys, but altcoins are going to dump like another 50%. It's crazy, but that's what I feel. That's what I'm feeling, and it's the reason I'm doing nothing on alts right now. Nothing. Not trading altcoins, especially not longs, until we see these levels. The only coins I'll entertain trades on are the coins that have already tanked below those wicks, right? Like Solana. And there are very few and far between. Most of them still have to hit their wick. Husseini, I'm going to go into your 2-hour time frame now to look at your SMC. But look at Solana outperforming the market here, right? Very small wick. Already below its wick. Already ready to bust. Love it. So what I'm looking for here on Solana is a move to the bottom of this falling wedge. And then a nice move up. But yeah, there's a lot of bigger bearish structures, right? And I even want to show you something on Bitcoin now that's going to make everybody a little bit scared. We looked at it yesterday. But like, also just be aware that if things get bearish, they're going to get ridiculously bearish. Like this falling wedge can play out, right? Like this one did, and we can get a nice run. But also there's a head and shoulders pattern here, which is super gnarly, right? So just be aware of that. crazy, guys. It's crazy because technically the price target for this head and shoulders is sub-zero. Sub-zero. I'm not making this up. Are we still on royalty free? No copyright. Nice. But yeah, look at that, guys. That's a minus 24 for Solana. Obviously, I don't think we'll go to zero. But if this head and shoulders plays out, we could hit these like $40 levels. Easy. A lot of people are calling $50 Solana. All right, guys. Whew, I think it's time to call it. I always struggle to end off. Let's quickly have a look at that uni 2-hour trade. I love to look at the trades that are dropped on the Discord. I just think it's the best way to trade as a community. And I also like to learn from the SMC OGs. Okay, nice. Let me look at your chart again. Why does my chart look different? What am I not seeing here? Okay, so here's your order block right here. Okay, so here is your downward sloping structure. Okay, interesting. So what you're telling me here is that you saw this as a break of structure. Interesting, man. Interesting. You know, sometimes the OG SMC guys, like, you're still too advanced for me. But I see you, right? I see you. Okay, okay, now I get it. So you were seeing an uptrend there because this was a higher low. So you were seeing an uptrend there. Okay, I'm getting you, brother. I'm getting you. And there was your break of structure that put in the lower low. Here was your impulse move. So then here was your SMC order block at the previous green candle body. Nice trade, man. Look at that. Nice trade. Super cool, brother. And you're now in profit. Good work, man. Good work. All right, guys, we're going to call it there at 90 minutes. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's hard to call it now because, you know, we're finally getting viewers and we're pumping, and it's absolutely awesome to see you all here. Avalanche is on a crazy sale right now. Yeah. Your post on X disappeared while I was retweeting. What? This post? It looks like it's still there. Looks like it's still there. All right, let me go through this chat. Mustafa, welcome. All right, so we'll look at Avalanche next time. I think I'm actually going to do an Avalanche video next week. That's crazy. I don't know why. Try refresh. You want to see another waveform at the downside. Oh yeah, before I close off, I just want to show you guys this, just to make everybody a little bit more scared, which should actually make you greedy, right? But if you go to the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, I can't remember who showed us this. It was someone from the community, but this does make sense, guys. This does make sense on, you know, why things could get way more bearish. And just have a look at this. Head and shoulders on the weekly time frame. Nuts. Like, even if we come lower down, but say we go up from here and we create a head anywhere here, like say that golden pocket we were looking at. Check that out. That is like crazy bear market times, down to 45k. So just to keep y'all keep y'all logical, right? Send more colleagues. 60% lower in Solana, that's wild. I'll throw the kitchen sink at it at that point. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons I want the bottom of those wicks on all the altcoins, because those are going to be nice trades, guys. Like, we've seen wicks like that before. Liquidity loves to sweep those wicks. I want to 70 Solana for Christmas. You could get it, man. You could get it. I will not buy a house, I'll buy crypto. Definitely at these levels, hey. No stress. Did you drop it in the live charts? Ooh, there we go. What time frame? Oh, is this Bitcoin dominance? Wow, is this... let me know what coin, what time frame? Okay, it's Bitcoin, nice. So you want the bull div, just like I want the... Oh, you want the bull div there, interesting. Okay, so not this larger bull div, you want the smaller bull div from where we're at now. All right, nice outlook, man. I love your little magnet, dude. So cool. So cool. Very nice outlook, bro. You were showing the head and shoulders. Dude, it's gnarly. It's super gnarly, man. Guys, I hate to be the bear or whatever, but yeah. All this means is that if we get a rally, no matter what happens here, right? If we get a rally up, we better break this level. We better break this all-time high. Or otherwise it's head and shoulders. Bad news. Bad news. Get everyone super bullish and then take it all away and more. Yeah. That's why I'm keeping everything right now on the side for altcoins. If we hit the bottom of those wicks on altcoins, I'm going to open 30 to 50 trades. 30 to 50 low leverage trades on altcoins. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's really hard to hop off when I see... Oh, we're doing so well for viewers. So nice to see everybody here. But please do subscribe to the channel. Put notifications on. Weekly hidden bull. Okay, perfect. I'll include that in my next video. We'll look at it next time. We got a little bit of time because it's on the weekly. But I remember you were mentioning it. Super cool. All right, I hope everybody's enjoyed. I've had an absolute blast. Super tough to get off, but I promise in the new year we're going to be doing this every week. I'm also going to be dropping TA videos and short videos every week. And yeah, no stress, guys. If there's a few people here who are gaining, it's cool, man. We're going to be at 100K, right? I know it. I will have 100K YouTube. But actually, this is where the fun is at. This is like building with the core crew. And y'all are still going to be here when we've got a 100K channel. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please do touch some grass over the weekend. We're going to come back hot next week. So much love and respect from me. Please remember my advice. Always play from a position of power and strength. Use your stop loss and do not get wrecked. See you all in the communities. Peace out.